The movie begins with a young boy named Lewis, whose life has been shattered after the tragic loss of his parents in 1955. With nowhere else to go, he receives an unexpected letter from his eccentric uncle Jonathan, inviting him to live with him in a small town filled with strange whispers and even stranger houses. Lewis boards the bus, unsure of what lies ahead, but desperate for a place to feel safe again. When he arrives at the final stop, Lewis meets Jonathan, a flamboyant, energetic man who talks almost too fast and moves as if everything around him is slightly urgent. As they walk through the town toward Jonathan's home, a massive clock tower bell begins ringing loudly, and Jonathan glares at it with unsettling intensity. Lewis senses immediately that his uncle is hiding something, but he still follows him into a rattling old car for the final stretch of the journey. They arrive at Jonathan's mansion, a towering Victorian house full of vines, shadows, and an eerie display of jack-o'-lanterns glowing, even though it isn't Halloween. Lewis asks if Jonathan just really loves the holiday, but the answer is even stranger. Jonathan keeps Halloween decorations up all year long. Before they can enter, a strict neighbor named Mrs. Hanchett storms over, complaining about Jonathan playing his saxophone at 3 a.m. Their bickering gives Lewis his first taste of just how bizarre this new life will be. Inside, Lewis is mesmerized by the sight of dozens of clocks, big ones, tiny ones, ticking ones, chiming ones, filling the entire home with an endless symphony of clicks and talks. Jonathan insists that there's just the right amount. A reserved, sharp-tongued woman named Mrs. Zimmerman appears next. She's Jonathan's best friend and magical partner in chaos, though Lewis doesn't know that yet. Something about the house feels alive, humming with an invisible energy that makes the boy uneasy. That night, Lewis tries to sleep, but the house refuses to rest. A loud clang wakes him, and when he sneaks through the dark hallways, he catches Jonathan pressing his ear against the wall as if listening for a heartbeat. Suddenly, a creepy figurine bursts from the wallpaper, laughing maniacally. Terrified, Lewis sprints back to his room and hides under his blankets, convinced the house is haunted. The next morning is no less strange. Jonathan and Mrs. Zimmerman gossip loudly in the kitchen about going into the wall, which sends Lewis to school confused and overwhelmed. He struggles during gym, flopping miserably in basketball, but he does make a new acquaintance, a friendly, confident boy named Tarby. Tarby tells Lewis that the mansion he lives in is rumored to be haunted because someone died there. This only deepens Lewis's fear of his new home. That night, Lewis dreams of his mother. She warns him about a mysterious book and a key, whispering that he's in danger. When he wakes up, he follows eerie footsteps through the house, only to find Jonathan attacking a wall with an axe. Horrified, Lewis tries to flee, but the house itself blocks him in. A moving chair and talking picture force him to face Jonathan, who finally sits him down for the truth. Jonathan reveals that he is a warlock, though not a particularly good one, he admits. The house once belonged to a powerful dark magician named Isaac Isard and his wife Selena. Isaac created something dangerous before his death, something hidden deep inside the walls. Jonathan is now desperately trying to find it. Lewis, hungry for purpose and fascinated by magic, begs his uncle to teach him sorcery. Jonathan reluctantly hands him thick books and tells him he must study first. Soon, strange magical accidents begin happening around the house. A purple spider leaps from a doorway, enchanted objects move on their own, and Mrs. Zimmerman's spells repeatedly misfire. Jonathan gives Lewis one important rule: never open a particular cabinet sealed by powerful magic. Lewis nods, unaware of how critical that rule really is. Meanwhile, the mysterious ticking inside the walls grows louder each night. At school, Tarby encourages Lewis to ditch his goggles to avoid teasing. Lewis obeys, hoping to fit in, but the moment is interrupted when Jonathan appears with theatrical flair to take Lewis home. That night, Jonathan brings Lewis outside for his first real lesson. Lewis fails miserably at casting a spell, but Jonathan teaches him something more important. The magic is in confidence, not perfection. Then Jonathan blows his saxophone, triggering a fountain to explode into a breathtaking cosmic display of stars. Lewis is stunned, enchanted, until a stone lion unexpectedly poops on him. Lewis begins learning magic in earnest. Soon he can change a cat's fur to rainbow colors, levitate Jonathan by accident, fire jets of water, and animate furniture. Jonathan and Mrs. Zimmerman grow more anxious about the ticking clock hidden somewhere in the house. But Lewis feels proud of his progress. For the first time since his parents' death, he feels special, maybe even powerful. His confidence leads him to do everything with magic: cleaning, making his bed, even conjuring a television to watch Captain Midnight, despite Jonathan banning electronics. But life at school remains frustrating. Tarby becomes popular after winning an election and quickly stops wanting to hang out with Lewis. Desperate to impress him again, Lewis invites Tarby over, hoping magic tricks will win him back. While searching for harmless spells, Tarby breaks Jonathan's rule and opens the forbidden cabinet, pulling out a book on necromancy. Lewis panics, shoves the book back, and forces Tarby out. But that night, Lewis's mother appears in his dreams again, urging him to use the book if he wants Tarby to like him. Blinded by loneliness, Lewis makes the worst decision of his life. The next day, Lewis steals the necromancy book, meets Tarby in a cemetery, and attempts a resurrection spell. The ground trembles, the tomb shakes, and Tarby sprints away in terror as Lewis realizes too late that something has gone horribly wrong. He flees home, replaces the book, and pretends nothing happened. But deep down, he knows he has awakened something dangerous. By morning, his magic no longer works. Jonathan rushes downstairs to find every statue in the house whispering ominously, "He's back!" He races to the cemetery and discovers Isaac Izard's tomb wide open. Zimmerman insists Jonathan must finally tell Lewis the truth, but Jonathan refuses, believing the boy can't handle it. They line the house with protective horseshoes, terrified of what might return. Lewis nearly confesses but loses courage when Zimmerman angrily declares that whoever tampered with the necromancy book will be severely punished. He instead follows Jonathan's advice to stay with Mrs. Zimmerman for safety. At her house, Lewis notices her struggling to perform magic, her powers weakened by trauma from her past. She reveals the truth about Isaac. He returned from war changed, steeped in dark magic, and married a wicked witch named Selena. Together, they created a sinister plan involving a key made from human bone. Lewis tries to talk to Tarby at school, but Tarby threatens him into silence and even punches him. Humiliated and defeated, Lewis notices the word indomitable in his open book, inspiring him to stand tall again. He returns home and starts piecing together the mysterious chart Jonathan found earlier. In the library, the doors slam shut and books whirl through the air, attacking Lewis. Jonathan and Zimmerman rescue him, and Lewis demonstrates that he can decode the symbols thanks to Captain Midnight. They discover the horrifying truth. Isaac built a doomsday clock designed to reverse time itself, returning everyone to infancy until they vanish from existence. And now that Isaac is resurrected, he intends to activate it. When they return home, the house is torn apart from the inside. Jonathan finds the bone key, but it won't melt or break. In a moment of guilt and horror, Lewis confesses that he raised Isaac from the dead. Jonathan is furious and prepares to send Lewis away for his safety. Zimmerman scolds him, reminding Jonathan that Lewis needs him, and that abandoning the boy would be repeating the same cruelty he showed Lewis's mother years ago. Before Jonathan can apologize, Lewis hears barking outside. Through the window, he sees Isaac entering Mrs. Hanchett's house. Panicking, Lewis runs over to warn her, dragging the confused woman back to Jonathan's house. But they are too late. Isaac knocks on the door. Mrs. Hanchett opens it, only to reveal a horror. She is not Mrs. Hanchett at all. She has been Selena in disguise this entire time, using magic to hide in plain sight. Even the dog, Marmalade, transforms into a vicious rat. Selena morphs into Lewis's mother, revealing that she manipulated his dreams, using his grief to trick him into opening the cabinet and retrieving the key. Isaac demands the bone key as Jonathan and Zimmerman struggle to escape their own magical trap. Lewis is captured and suspended in a steel cage above deadly spinning blades. A rat gnaws slowly at the rope holding him up. Meanwhile, Isaac reveals that he gained his terrible powers not from a witch, but from Azazel, the fourth prince of hell. As the rope frays, Isaac tries stealing the key magically from Jonathan's pocket. Zimmerman, finding sudden strength in her battered magic, unleashes a powerful spell that stops Isaac and saves Lewis. Chaos erupts. Selena attacks. Isaac retaliates with blasts of hellish energy, and Jonathan is struck, nearly killed. Isaac manages to grab the key and vanishes with Selena, leaving destruction in their wake. As Isaac activates the doomsday clock, toys and jack-o'-lantern monsters flood the house. Jonathan is turned into a baby, Zimmerman collapses, and Lewis becomes the only person left who can stop the end of the world. Guided by a glowing magical sphere, he faces the ticking monstrosity alone. Whispering goodbye to his parents and his fear, he throws the sphere into the heart of the clock. Time rewinds, undoing Isaac's spell and erasing him and Selena forever. Everything returns to normal. Jonathan transforms back into himself, hugging Lewis with pride and relief. The house heals, the danger fades, and Lewis finally feels at home. Not as a scared boy, but as a brave young warlock who saved the world. And with that, the story closes on the triumphant bond between an uncle, a friend, and a boy who discovered his true power. If you enjoyed this magical and thrilling journey, make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop a comment telling us your favorite moment, and check out more incredible recaps here on Great Animation Recaps. Your support keeps the magic alive. See you in the next adventure.